Hey guys, I'm Papa Pete, and I'm happy to say that the last week or so has just been filled with lots of great Amico news. So today, I'm going to take a look at one of the releases, the Meet Amico releases they had last week, which was for Missile Command, a game that, is well loved by many, many people. Just a classic retro game from the early 80s, and man, let's see what they can do with it with the Amico. Here we go. Missile Command was out way back in 1979 or 80 in the arcades when I played it. And man, I had it for the Atari 2600. I've even done a review recently on the Atari 2600 port of Missile Command. You can check that out at the link above or down in the description section. But one of the big things that Tommy talks about in this video is the way they're putting the controller to use, the adaptability of the new Intellivision Amico controller for use in games such as this. And it really is quite ingenious because you can turn it in any configuration possible. So it's good for left-handers, it's good for right-handers. You could use it vertically like the old Intellivision. And one thing it does, it was always hard to make a home port of Missile Command because of the trackball. Yes, you could get trackballs for different systems, but they really weren't all that common. So most systems that had Missile Command get rid of the trackball, and really all they could replace it with was the joystick in the Atari 2600 version, which I thought actually worked quite well. But it wasn't the original Missile Command. And other ones later on use gamepads and such, but you really don't have great control over it. So what Tommy's done here, him and the team are using the touchscreen part of either your cell phone, if you have the app, or the actual Amico controller itself, and you can move your reticle around the screen to fire your missiles. And it's a really great idea, and it's probably about the most fluid thing that I've seen ever since the trackball. Tommy also talks about how this meets the couch co-op aspect of the game, because Missile Command was really only a one-player game, and I suppose you could play two players, you alternate back and forth, but in this case you could have up to 8 players playing at the same time, 2 with the controllers, the rest with the app on the cell phone, or if you have some extra controllers maybe, I don't know how that works, but you could play all a big co-op where you each have your own reticle, and the reticle itself will show you how many missiles you have. And just by sliding it around, of course, all different colors, and your controller, if you have the controller, lights up in the color of your reticle also. So that's really kind of neat. You can see right there, see on the screen as you're moving around how many missiles you have left from each of your 3 bases. It also, like I said, goes back to the 3 bases as opposed to just the one like we used to have with the Atari 2600 version. Now you might think 8 players, that seems like a lot, but man, it seems like really frantic action that I've seen on here. They're playing with 4 people, but and that seems like a lot. I don't know, would 8 be too much? Maybe. Or maybe it'd just be that much more fun. I don't know. It's something that's really worth trying out. But something also that I find very, very curious is he says you can play 2-player head-to-head, where one person's up at the top firing missiles, and the other person's down at the bottom firing missiles at the other person's cities and bases. And I think that has some really good prospects for being a fun head-to-head game. So let's look at the graphics themselves. Well, first of all, if you look, it's really clear to see whose missiles are going off where because they're also in the same color as your reticle. And down at the bottom on the bases, you can also see where the little, from each base is the same matching color pointing towards the reticle, so you can really see it. Now this game, he says right in the video, doesn't have the reticles fully developed. He does show a little image of what they're going to look like when it's finished, but what we see here doesn't really show that. But it does show enough to really see where they are. The cities look good at the bottom. Again, it's clear. You can see the bullets not only at the bottom, they're going to be on the reticle as well. And I really like how the missiles and the attacking things are coming in the graphics, because it was always just lines coming down in any game that I saw, and these actually have missiles with a trail. And if you look, there's even the asteroids that are coming at you. These used to be like the smart bombs in the original Missile Command, and these are look like asteroids to me. It doesn't say anywhere what they're called, just calls them the purple things because the tail's purple. But it's really neat, and it looks like really cool gameplay. You have to hit those ones right on the dot. And now for the sounds. I just love that air raid siren sound and the explosion sounds. And overall, it just looks like it really immerses you in the gameplay. There's just nothing bad about these sounds. I don't know, is it final? I think it probably isn't even the final sounds. But if they were final sounds, they'd be pretty damn good the way they are. Yes, I want to say that these people are all making the Amico, so they've got a vested interest in this. They want it to be fun, but they do look like they're having fun, don't they? I mean, it just looks like it's frantic, but they're all sitting there, can all play, and it looks very easy to control. I know, again, what I said was the slide, the touchscreen moves your reticle around, but he talked about firing the missiles themselves with 3 different bases. Very simple. No matter which way you hold it, you hit on the left side of the disc, it fires the left bullet, right side of the disc, right bullet, top, the center missile fires, or if you just hit the bottom, it'll fire automatically from the closest missile base to your reticle. So it's really good because somebody who wanted more control can have that more control, but anybody can pick it up, just hit on the bottom, it's going to fire the best missile for them. I really can't think of too many times where you wouldn't want to fire the bottom, or where you wouldn't want to hit the bottom and fire the closest missile at them. But I suppose there might be times, I don't know, because even when you're out, if you're out at the closest one, it goes to the next one. So it's always going to fire the closest, even if you're out in some bases. So I don't know why we could just have one, but you really do want to have that extra control, which is kind of neat. So what do I think? I really was anxious to see what Tommy and the crew would do with the first major port that they brought over, which had never been on the Intellivision before. Missile Command was never released for the Intellivision back in the day. It had been released on the Atari 2600, the 5200, right up through some modernized systems, probably the PC. I don't remember any specifically, but I know it was on the PS1. But never on the Intellivision. So Tommy said they were going to go back at the Atari library and bring up a few as well. So I was sort of anxious to see exactly where they go with it. And I'm very happy with what I see, frankly. These guys look like they're having a lot of fun playing the game. Like I said before, yes, they work there, but oh my God, that really does look like a lot of fun to play. And when I hear the sounds, and I see the gameplay, and I see the co-op involved, I really also want to try the head-to-head because I think it's a really neat concept as well, which I had never thought of. So overall, it looks like another home run to me. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I just can't wait to play it. I don't know. It's not going to be one of the releases, or is it? Maybe it's that 6th game. Maybe this is that magical 6th game, do you suppose? Anyway, guys, we'll have to wait to see about that. But in the meantime, there's more Meet Amico videos to come, and we'll always take a look at them right here. Take care. Can't wait to see you next time.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer.
Hey, it's Paul Nerman or Nermix from the Intellivisionairies Podcast. I'm also part of the Amico development team. And you're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
What the hell?